You're listening to the True North Success Podcast. Real stories of personal, professional, and financial wins from Alberta's best. With your hosts, Gary Ma and Amy Kim.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today, my special guest is Diana Powell. She is a human resources executive and compensation benefits manager at Clark Builders in Edmonton. With 20 years of experience across HR, accounting, and IT, she specializes in creating competitive total rewards programs throughout North America. Diana is a partner with senior leadership to design data-driven salary frameworks, employee benefit structures, and corporate incentive plans. She holds a Bachelor of Commerce from MacEwan University and a Strategic HR Leadership Certificate from Cornell University. Deeply committed to social causes, she also serves as a board member for the Today Family Violence Help Center. It is my pleasure to have Diana Powell on the show today. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Diana, I gave a quick overview of your success, but can you fill in the details of what you do, who you serve, and how long you've been doing this for?
Yeah, so I am in compensation and benefits, or as I like to call it, total rewards, because I do feel that it's a little bit more broad and encompassing than just what people are paid and what their health and dental benefits are.
Mm-hmm.
And I got into this. I've been doing it now for about, I want to say 10 years. I've been on my HR journey. And over the
Mm-hmm.
last few years, I've really specialized more into the total rewards discipline.
Okay. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about the total rewards. Like I've never heard that terminology before.
Yeah, so I'd say I don't know if it's like new. I mean, a lot of people have always referred to it as compensation and benefits, but total rewards takes a more comprehensive look at all the things that make an employee feel valued
Mm-hmm.
when they're at an organization. It starts with their like obviously their pay, like the cash compensation they're receiving, their health and
Mm-hmm.
dental benefits, things that support their well-being. And then it broadens into their financial well-being. So what kind of programs are we offering for their financial security and their retirement planning? And then it also stems into things like career development and how are we
Yeah.
supporting their career and professional development. Employee engagement can also be a part of that. And so to me, I really look at it as a full way that we look at engaging an employee and helping them feel valued for their contributions and involvement with our organization.
Right on. So it really looks at the whole, gamut of all the rewards,
Exactly.
financial, future career, and everything like
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. Well, like what kind of led you to become a human resources specialist?
So funny, I started my career in accounting. I always called myself an accidental accountant. I kind of
Okay.
took a less traditional path that way I started just working in an office, got interested in accounting. I would help out a little bit here and there, then kind of went down a more formalized path of starting to get education towards accounting. And then I found myself relocating to Alberta in
Mm-hmm.
2008.
Mm-hmm.
And again, started in, I had a really great mentor who saw potential within me, and he really encouraged me to go back to school, to go to university and get an accounting degree. And so that was my path, and that's what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the longer I went on that path, and I realized I really do not want my whole career, my whole life to revolve around month end
Mm.
reporting and financial reports. And I love analysis. I love numbers. I love that. But the thing I loved the most was being able to use that information to help the business be
Okay.
better, to become
Right.
more efficient and effective. And I loved working with people and I loved working with the operations. So when I found myself with a role within a construction organization here within Edmonton,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was working heavily with the operation side. I was really involved in their cost accounting.
Okay.
And when it got to the point where I decided I don't see myself going to become a professional accountant, I don't see myself getting that
Okay.
designation. I
Yeah.
was given a fantastic opportunity to go into IT. and actually
Okay.
manage their IT department. And I was involved in a really fantastic project with them and helping them develop a vendor management software
Okay.
and scheduling software for their field. I was using all of my operational accounting and analytical knowledge to help manage that. And then I went on a maternity leave, and it really gave me pause to say, I brought into
Mm,
that the IT department sort of on a contingent basis. We knew that wasn't going to be a permanent home for me in that organization, but I was fulfilling a need that they had, and I had a skill set to support that. But it gave me time to pause and really think about, what do I love about all the things, all the roles
right.
I've had in organizations, and it was the people. And
Yeah.
I was really passionate about helping to build a positive culture where people can thrive. And I really wanted to influence organizational outcomes through their people, because I truly
Mm,
believe that's where it starts.
hmm.
And so that led me down a very long journey, challenging journey, but essentially almost restarting my career. I was in a
Okay.
leadership position when I went on my
Yeah.
maternity leave, and starting back into HR. I had a degree in accounting, and I could see all the transferable skills,
Yeah.
but it was hard to sell that to organizations looking to hire me into an
Okay.
HR position. Why should they hire
Yeah.
me? I'm an accountant, but
Right.
I have a
Right.
little bit of a background, and I'm technically savvy, but um, I really did have to start my career over. I went into third party recruiting. I was just
Hmm.
helping individuals in accounting and finance temp positions,
Right.
and from there I had a very good plan of how I was going to move back up. And uh, after doing the recruitment piece for a while, I was able to get an opportunity with a software development company that really, I feel like they took a chance on me. I
Okay.
really sold myself. I sold my skills and my abilities to come in and get done what needed to get done. And
Right.
I think it paid off. I think they were happy. It worked
Yeah.
out great for me. It was a really fantastic opportunity with them. And so that's really kind of how I got here. And
Okay.
then the longer I've been in HR, and I've been more exposed to everything there, it's HR is just such an interconnected piece of the business,
Right.
um, that I really had time to think about, what do I love about what I'm doing now? And
Hmm.
obviously, the accounting background, I loved working with total rewards and building total rewards packages and programs that help support employees, help them
Hmm.
feel valued,
Hmm.
but that are also, strategic for the organization, and that drive behaviors
Hmm.
that support their business goals. And that's really done through the different levers of the total rewards programs.
Nice, nice. So really, it was your passion, it sounds like, that
Yeah.
really wanted to help people. That's what it comes
Yes.
down to, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And and you need people in an organization.
Yeah, what are we without our people? Honestly,
Exactly,
truly, that
right?
is, yeah, we need that. And that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people. I wanted to support people. We spend so much of our waking time at work.
Mm,
And I think we've all had really great work experiences and not great work experiences. And a lot of the times when we reflect back on our where we didn't have a great work experience, a lot of the times if you think about it, it's we didn't feel valued.
mm, hmm.
And so I wanted to make sure that I can help organizations make their employees feel valued.
Right, right on. So what would you say that, kind of sets you apart from the competition? Like what comes easy to you that maybe others find challenging?
I think one thing definitely is my analytical skills, um, my ability to look at data and
Hmm.
use that to inform decision making.
Okay.
Um, I'm sometimes over analytical about it, to be honest, but I do think that data is so important in your decision making. It's going to
Okay.
tell you, it's going to help influence um, what you're doing, and it's going to tell you if what you're doing is successful or not
Mm,
successful.
hmm. Hmm.
Oftentimes, HR can kind of get painted in this brush of, oh, we're like the feelings people, and we operate off how we feel. but it's
Right.
not. There is a huge come on. I've just talked about how important people are and how passionate I am about that.
Yes.
But there is a real side of business
Mm-hmm.
that, is profitability and making
Mm-hmm.
sound business decisions. And I think one thing that I have tried to do really well in my career as an HR professional is always approach my business leaders with a solid business case that
Mm-hmm.
includes the analysis and the business case, the cost benefit analysis, or the reasoning why, and what will the success indicators be when we've implemented such program or what have you. How will we know if it's successful? And
Right.
so
Right.
I think that um, that's one thing that definitely sets me apart. And I think another thing is definitely my passion. I think I
Right.
get fired up even talking about it. I get excited. I think anybody can tell that. I've been told I'm a firecracker, but yeah, I'm very, very passionate about what I do. And so I think that that's a huge strength.
Right.
Um, and yeah, I think that's definitely two of the things is, whenever I'm looking at implementing a program or helping solve a business need or a problem that we're having, I'm always looking at it from a really big picture,
Yeah.
not just with an HR lens of how it
Mm-hmm.
is to support the HR, but overall in the business, how is this going to impact our costs or what's the ROI on that going to be? How are we going to be able to, and the thing is in HR and especially in total rewards, so many of our ROI returns on investment are not exactly tangible. It's
Right.
not you
Yeah.
do X and then you get YZ out of it and it's a tangible thing. We put it on the income statement and it's obvious.
Right.
So I think one thing we have to do, or one thing I try to do, is translate how are these intangible
Mm-hmm.
benefits. How does having an engaged employee or an employee who feels valued, how does that tangibly benefit the company?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, so I
Yeah.
think that's one thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Like I can hear your passion, your drive, coming across, which is very, very powerful. What kind of tips or suggestions would you give someone who wants to be more successful?
I think what I would say is come up with a plan. I
Mm-hmm.
think that when you have a plan and you goal set, I do think goal setting is so important. It
Mm-hmm.
it really helps keep you focused so that it's not going to be a straight shot. Sometimes you want to get from point A to point B, but it's not always a straight line,
Yeah.
and that's okay. There's
Yeah.
going to be ups and downs. You're going to go a step forward and a step back, but I think that if you have that goal,
Yeah.
you still have that North Star, you know what you're working towards. I
Right.
do think back to when I was making this, kind of scary career shift from
Sure.
being a successful leader with like accounting and IT knowledge and going into HR. But I initially was just I didn't really have a plan. I knew I wanted to be in HR, but I didn't know what I needed to do and I didn't know the steps I needed to take. And
Mm-hmm.
so I reached out to a career coach and they really helped me formulate a plan and set goals
Okay.
that, okay, now I'm going to be in step one and I'm going to
Yeah.
achieve this. And now, okay, I've done that. Now I'm going to look at doing this next. And I think my second piece of advice was get support, reach
Okay.
out to people, network.
Mm-hmm.
I attribute so much of my career success to networking.
Okay.
And I know that can sound really scary for people who I remember the first time I had to go to an event and network. I was by myself and that was so intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that when you come from it very genuinely, you just want to get to know people, um,
Yeah.
then you're going to develop these relationships. And I've been able to use my networking also to help others be successful. I know, oh, this
Right.
person's looking for this
Yeah.
person that can has these skill sets and I can help make connections that way. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I think definitely set goals, have a plan, and then get support, have people in your corner to kind of cheer you on because it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
You're not going to always see the success you need, maybe not in the timeline you set it forward. And then also network, build your network, make connections with people in the same industry or different industry, same career path, not. But I just think it's so important to make connections, professional connections out there.
Right. Just being able to help, like connecting people and hearing what other people are doing, just gives you a broader, wealth of knowledge, and information,
100%. Yeah.
right? Yeah. What would you say is like the one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome in your career, and how were you able to turn that into a positive?
I'm trying to think, I just feel like when I think about my whole career, it's just been such a long journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think for me, um, the challenge was, getting to a point where I feel successful. And I don't know if I've overcome this challenge yet, to be completely
Mm-hmm.
honest. I feel that I've always set the marker for me here, like it's always the next step. And
Okay.
I think for me, a challenge is feeling satisfied and where
Okay.
I am
Okay.
and not always just chasing that. Okay. And I always catch myself in the trap. Okay, well, if I get that next role or that next promotion, I'm going to be really happy with that level in my career. And I think for me, sometimes I sit there and I'm like, okay, I've achieved this. Okay,
Yeah.
but now what? And so I think
Okay.
for me,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
challenge is
Yeah.
just sitting in it, enjoying in it, being present
Right.
and just
Yeah.
being, to be honest.
Right.
If I'm being completely honest, I think that's the challenge for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Like having moving goalposts is
that's
definitely
exactly it.
I've talked to other people about that as well. Like that is definitely a challenge, you know,
Hmm.
to kind of accept, be where you
Yeah,
are and be okay with it.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it must be, deeply programmed, but I do feel like there is this sense of that as well, just within our culture. I mean, LinkedIn, you go on
Mm,
LinkedIn, everyone's posting about all their
right.
achievements, and you can
Yeah.
feel really great about what you've achieved. And then you go on LinkedIn, you're like, oh, but I'm not doing that. So it's that kind of self comparing, but also just the internal drive to want to like always achieve and,
Hmm.
be your best or do your best. And, I've joked with people that, people slam on Facebook or so Instagram as being like real deflators. But I
Mm,
have honestly found sometimes LinkedIn can be the worst, especially if
mm,
you're a person with high standards or a high achiever and, you see what's possible, you see what you can
yeah.
achieve, and then you're like, oh man, I got to get on it. But yeah, I think a challenge is sometimes just be present, live for the moment you're in now and just enjoy that.
Right. Yeah, like some of my coaches have told me, comparing yourself to other people, it's a downer, but yet, okay, if you compared yourself to where you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, like I'm sure you've had huge growth
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
period, right?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. When we compare ourselves to others, it's a huge deflator. And then sometimes when we compare ourselves to ourselves,
Yeah.
it's a huge boost. It's a good reminder of what's possible and what you can
Oh,
achieve. And
yeah,
yeah, that's a good
exactly.
point.
I mean, it sounds like things are going pretty well for you.
Yeah.
As a busy human resources executive, a lot of time is spent actively working. When looking towards the future, like many don't want to have to be working so hard for that income. So some look at ways of investing in stocks, bonds, crypto, or using a financial planner or something like that. What are your thoughts about ways of creating income outside of your work and active business?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely on my mind. Being in the space that I'm in, I'm seeing people through all the stages of their career. Some are getting ready to retire. It's really put it at the forefront of my mind as well. Of well, I'm not there yet,
Yeah,
but I feel like it's one of those things we don't talk about enough in our society about like really like truly like what does retirement planning look like and what do you need to do now to be able to live the life you want to live when you're not
yeah.
working anymore. And so that it's certainly been on my mind the last few years. We've started engaging with the financial planner. looking at some ways that we can, diversify our income streams. Obviously, my husband
Mm-hmm.
and I, we do both work. We do have rental properties. That's one
Mm-hmm.
way that we have found to be another source of income for us, not just for now, but
Yep.
for later on, after when
Okay.
we're ready to retire. That could
Yeah.
be, a way of getting passive income through retirement once
Yep.
that property is completely paid off, or you sell that and you get a nice lump sum of cash you want to invest, as well
Mm-hmm.
investing in stocks, mutual funds,
Right.
leveraging. One thing I will say, if I can put a plug out there, is if your
Sure.
company has an RSP plan, a group savings plan, take advantage of it. There are
Right.
so many employees that I see that employers offer a match
Right.
and employees don't take advantage of it. So
Right.
that's just money sitting on the table there, that
Free money.
free money. And sometimes it does require a little bit of input from your own income
Yep.
into there to get matched. And I understand, everyone has different needs and priorities, and sometimes the retirement savings isn't that for them. But at the same time, you're not going to find a better way to invest. You're getting double your income, right? You're
Right.
you're
Right.
getting a good return on that investment. So that's one thing as well, leveraging whatever group programs are out there for us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are good points and good tips. As we're wrapping up our interview, what kind of exciting plans do you have in the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, uh, personally, like, we're getting into summer now. It's a little bit of I don't want to jinx myself, a little bit of a slower time in my
Oh,
compensation cycle. So
okay.
I am hoping to get out to the lake. We have a seasonal site. So honestly, it's nothing too exciting.
Yeah.
But we had a pretty exciting past year with travel and stuff. So I'm just looking forward to settling into my role. I've been here now for, I think, 7 months. So
Okay.
settling into it a little bit more, and just being able to then, have a better work-life balance, spend more time with my family,
Right.
and hopefully we can get away for another vacation before the end of the year. But the main excitement thing for me is just enjoy the summer that we have here in Alberta, try to get outdoors as much as I can, and just, relax.
Right on. Right on. Yeah. I mean, the summers are so short in Alberta that it makes sense to kind of stay here and enjoy it if you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, Diana, that wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights and tips with us. It was a real pleasure to have you on the show. And Diana, if people want to connect with you, what's the best way?
LinkedIn, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, send me a message. I do always try to at least respond to anybody who's messaging me, even if it's somebody looking for a job connection or whatnot. I always try to help people out.
Oh,
I'm always interested in creating another connection out there.
right on. Right on. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at truenorthsuccessshow.com/guest. We'd love to hear from you.